I downloaded Tinder during lockdown out of pure boredom. At the time, I was 24 years old, living alone in a tiny apartment, while working night shifts editing videos for a local media company. My sleep schedule was destroyed. My social life barely existed, and most nights felt painfully empty. Dating apps seemed like a distraction. At first, everything felt normal. Awkward conversations, fake bios, people posting filtered pictures, pretending to live perfect lives. Then I matched with a girl named Claire. Her profile immediately stood out. She only had 2 photos. In both pictures, she looked extremely pale, with dark hair covering part of her face. She wasn't smiling in either photo. Her bio simply said, "Some people should never meet." I remember thinking it was cringe, but I swiped right anyway. We matched instantly. A few seconds later, she messaged me first. "You look lonely." It caught me off guard, I replied jokingly. "That obvious?" Her response came immediately. "Very." For the next few days, we talked constantly, but the conversations felt strange. Claire never asked normal questions, like where I worked or what movies I liked. Instead, she asked things like, "What's your biggest fear? Have you ever thought about disappearing? Do you think evil people know they're evil?" At first, I assumed she was trying to sound mysterious, but eventually, her messages started making me uncomfortable. One night, she suddenly asked, "Have you ever watched someone die?" I stared at the screen for several seconds before replying, "No." She typed for a moment, then sent, "I have." That was it. No explanation, no emoji, nothing. I should have unmatched her right there. Instead, I kept talking to her. Part of me was curious. Part of me thought she was joking. A week later, she asked if I wanted to meet in person. Against my better judgment, I agreed. We decided to meet at a small diner downtown, around midnight after my shift ended. The diner was nearly empty when I arrived. Rain hammered against the windows, while an old jukebox played quietly near the counter. Then Claire walked in, and immediately something felt wrong. She looked similar to her photos, but colder somehow. Emotionless. Her eyes constantly moved around the diner like she was studying everyone inside. When she sat across from me, she didn't smile. She just stared for a few uncomfortable seconds before speaking. "You're taller than I imagined." Her voice sounded calm and flat. I forced an awkward laugh. Thanks." The waitress came over and asked for our order. I ordered coffee and fries. Claire ordered only water. The waitress joked, "That's all?" Claire slowly looked up at her and replied, "I already ate." The waitress laughed nervously and walked away. Claire watched her the entire time, without blinking. That was the first moment I genuinely considered leaving. But I stayed. As we talked, things became stranger. Claire somehow knew personal details I never told her. My college name. My favorite coffee shop. Even the park, near my apartment where I jogged occasionally. At first, I assumed she found my social media. Then she said something that made my stomach tighten. "You should really lock your bedroom window." I froze. "What?" She tilted her head slightly. "It's dangerous leaving it open at night." A cold feeling spread through my chest. "How do you know where I live?" She smiled faintly. "You post too much online." I knew that wasn't true. I never posted pictures of my apartment. Suddenly, I didn't want to be there anymore. I stood up and grabbed my jacket. I should probably head home. For a moment, her expression changed. Not angry, disappointed. Then she smiled again. "Okay," she said softly. I left immediately. The entire drive home, I kept telling myself I was overreacting. But when I reached my apartment, My fear returned instantly. My front door was slightly open. I knew I locked it before leaving. Slowly, I pushed the door open and stepped inside. Everything looked normal at first. Nothing stolen, nothing broken. Then I noticed my computer monitor glowing in the dark living room. Across the screen, typed in large letters, were 5 words. "Close your bedroom window." My heart nearly stopped. I called the police immediately. 2 officers searched the apartment, but found no signs of forced entry. One officer eventually asked if maybe I forgot locking the door. I knew I hadn't. After they left, I barely slept. The next morning, I deleted Tinder and blocked Claire everywhere. For 2 days, nothing happened. Then the phone calls started. Every night around 3 a.m., my phone rang from a private number. Whenever I answered, I heard breathing. Nothing else. The 4th night, I finally shouted, "What do you want from me?" For several seconds, there was silence. Then Claire whispered, "You looked peaceful sleeping." The call disconnected. I immediately checked every room in my apartment. Nothing seemed missing. But I couldn't stop shaking. The next day, I bought a security camera and installed it facing my apartment door. That night, I barely slept. The following morning, I checked the footage. At exactly 2:13 a.m., Claire appeared outside my apartment. She stood completely motionless in front of the door for almost 30 minutes, just staring. At one point, she slowly leaned toward the camera and smiled. Then the footage suddenly glitched. When it returned, she was gone. I took the footage straight to the police station. This time, they took things seriously. One detective recognized her immediately, but her name wasn't Claire. According to him, her real name was Rebecca Vale. She had been questioned years earlier after multiple men disappeared after meeting her online, but there was never enough evidence to arrest her. Then she vanished completely. The detective advised me to stay somewhere else temporarily. So I stayed with my friend Tyler across town. For one night, everything felt safe. Then, around midnight, someone knocked on Tyler's apartment door, 3 slow knocks. We looked through the peephole. Nobody was there. Another knock echoed through the hallway. Tyler carefully opened the door. The hallway was empty, but taped to the wall outside was a photograph. A recent photograph of me sleeping on Tyler's couch, taken from inside the apartment. That was the moment panic truly hit me. We called the police immediately, but by the time they arrived, there was no sign of her, no fingerprints, no witnesses, nothing. After that, I moved away completely. New city, new apartment, new phone number. I stopped using dating apps forever. For nearly 2 years, I heard nothing. Eventually, I convinced myself she was gone. Then last month, I came home from work late at night and found something sitting outside my apartment door. A small envelope. Inside was a single photograph. It was a picture of me entering my building earlier that evening. On the back, written in black marker, were 4 words. "You still look lonely."